Happy Friday, everybody, and a happy long weekend. It's Thanksgiving weekend coming up, so I'm sure everybody's excited to spend time with lots of family members, enjoy some turkey, enjoy some playoff baseball because the Jays are still rolling. And of course, we're here to enjoy some quality racing. This is going to be a string of 3 consecutive weekends with some stakes action as we kickstart off night 1 of the OSS Super Finals here for the rookies. And tomorrow we'll have the sophomores on display. So alongside me is my co-host, the Hall of Famer Randy Waples, back from a couple of days off. And as Chad mentioned, Randy, it's congrats to everybody who made it this far because a lot of special rookies that we're going to get a chance to see compete this evening, and some of their seasons aren't going to be finished just yet.
No, for sure. And to elaborate on that, yes, 100%. Owners, breeders, grooms, trainers, and drivers, but especially the horses. Congratulations on getting to this point. It's been a long year. We sat at this desk in June when all this started there, thinking about what's going to happen, and it's tough. It's tough to start your season off with the best horse and have the best horse come super final. That is a hard thing to do.
And we've seen a couple of big impacts from the new sires that we've had here in Ontario, right? Cattle Wash with a huge print. Here, obviously, one of the biggest notable, obviously, being a Bojangles, but a clean deal as well. And Bulldog, we haven't even seen him getting bred to the best mares just yet. And his first crop here has done pretty good as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We've been very, very lucky. And then we got Green Manalishi on the trotting side, too, Interesting to see what we're going to get with Green Manalishi. Like, can he keep just duplicating that? Because we got a new one coming out this year, right? King of the North.
King of the North, yeah.
That's going to be interesting, too.
And the London sale obviously kicking off on Tuesday. So I think this is going to be the most loaded sale that they've ever had, especially, again, with the strength that we've seen here provincially. So I'm sure everybody's looking forward to Tuesday. You better bring your checkbooks because I think some of them. Will I see you there, though? Are you going to be there?
I'll still probably trying to wake up from the gobble on Sunday there. Yeah. Turkey just does me right in. I'll still be sleeping by Wednesday.
Yeah, no kidding. It really does. You just want to lay back on your couch, take a nice nap afterwards, and no round 2 for me. I think one dish is enough.
I'm not 100% sure if I couldn't go through a root canal after I ate a turkey because I think I'd be completely passed out and I wouldn't even feel it.
I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite things, just to sit back, watch some sports, enjoy some turkey. But before we get into this weekend and what we've got on tap tonight, I'm going to recap last night's action. We have a pick 6 carryover to look forward to here tonight, Randy, so it overlaps with the Golds, which is nice. So carryover of over $5,300. James McDonald, he won the 5 of the first 6 races. He was on a heater last night.
He's on one of his James rolls, was he?
Yeah. And getting it done with one bell last night. She bounced back in a big way. I know her last 2 outings, resulted in a little bit of concern for obviously trainer Matt Bax and owner breeder Al Libfeld, but took a month off. Matt told me that she just had some issues that she was dealing with, and that month away really helped her and looked like she was ready to go off that qualifying effort, and she was able to replicate a similar performance and get to the winner's circle.
Now, are they prepping for the Breeders' Crown?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, well, then she's right in there, and I'll tell you something, a month off at this time of the year, it's not a bad thing.
No.
Because a lot of times what people think is a lot of times these horses start to grow again, and that's what the issue becomes, you know what I mean? They're trying to race them as they're growing, and they become sore. They get a full month off away from the track and that, they just shoot up like a dandelion.
And the carryover, it's as a result of Mark Etzel blowing up the tote board at odds of 47-1. I think it was Muscle Spasm was the horse, picking up a lifetime victory, number 1 in 56 and change. A great effort for him. It was a field where there was no clear standout, and he was able to just take them gate to wire and get the job done. And again, it resulted in a carryover opportunity going into tonight.
We love those carryovers, John.
Oh, we absolutely do love it. And speaking of it, we'll look at the wagering menu here. And of course, we love the pick 5s, and we're going to have 3 of them here this evening because we've got 13 races today, 13 races tomorrow. So we've got a loaded slate, but I think obviously all eyes are also going to be on that carryover opportunity here, races 4 through 9 of over $5,300. And again, you can see we've got a few pick 4s, we've got a few pick 5s, and we've still got that jackpot high 5 that's continuing to climb. And just curious to see how far that number does climb, and if they decide to maybe install a mandatory payout or make it a mandatory payout come the Breeders' Crown Final if it continues to build.
How much longer do we got? 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks to go? And it's at, what is it at now, 38?
38 and change.
Yeah. I hope that they shut it down just before the Breeders' Crown if it gets, up around $1.50, 200. That's enough.
Yeah. It's going to be a great wagering card. Listen, Breeders' Crown is the best because You have horses peaking at the right time. You have horses who have great resumes, obviously going into the final. But all these horses are so evenly matched. So there's value to be had from all across the board, right, Randy? So for me, it's my favorite thing. I remember Luprint. He didn't win in the elimination. I remember I think I was at a wedding on the Saturday night, and I just said to myself, or it was the Friday night, I should say. I was at home and said to myself, you get Luprint on 8-1 on a colt that I said was the best all year, in my opinion, and like, why not take a shot? So he lost his limb, so he got the outside draw. I think that's the one you want to take a shot with because it provides the best value, and we're going to see that all throughout every single race, every single division in the Breeders' Crown. So for me, it's the best weekend of the year.
It is,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, what the saying always goes, right? It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown. There's going to be a lot, decided on Breeders' Crown. You know, you're going to get probably Horse of the Year, horse in each division. A lot of it all comes down. Driver-wise, I'm not 100% sure. I have seen a couple times drivers have a big Breeders' Crown night and then win the Dan Patch, but I don't know if Dexter's just so far out in front this year that maybe it's not going to matter anyway.
I'm going to put you on the spot here quickly because it is super final weekend, and I never got a chance to ask you at the top of the show. Is there one super final victory to you that stands out the most?
For myself? Yeah. No, not really. No, I don't think so. No,
Okay.
I mean, they were all really nice because, like I said, it's a huge accomplishment. You know, to keep these things sharp and on their game for 5 or 6 months racing at the top level and then still having them good. For Breeders' Crown. It's a tough way to do it. One of the best I seen doing it was Mac Donnell. Paul was really good at that, keeping a horse good all year, and they'd still be just as good come Super Final night.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing those who are going to be competing next weekend in the eliminations as well, but they've got bigger fish to fry this weekend because $300,000 are on the line here in these respective divisions. But we're going to start off race number 1 with some of the undercards here. The OSS Super Finals are going to kick off in race number 6, which is going to be part of that mid-pick 5, but we're going to kick things off here in race number 1, and we're going to have a 2-year-old pacing filly here who competed in the grassroots final, Randy, who's going to be the overwhelming choice right now, and that's Lavender Sealster. That was a good effort to get beat there in her grassroots final try, and tell you what, she's had a pretty strong campaign, and to me, she's gotten better with each and every start.
Yeah, she has. Century Farrell, another first-time stud, with this group. I'm really liking the Century Farrells out there for the sales that are coming up. For anybody that's, maybe they can't afford a cattle wash or, a couple of these other ones, whatever. I think I'd take a real serious look at these Century Farrells because I think that he's basically pushing his class, his heart onto some of these horses. So kind of like them, have him in for third. I'm going to go Cold Creek Aspero. Okay. Is the work that I'm going to do in here. Now, this one interesting, coming out of the Dan Walker stable. This is a 3-year-old all bets off filly. Kind of looking after us here a little bit, John. Races on September the 19th, then comes right back 7 days later with a qualifier, and then comes right back, 7 days later with this effort right here. So why the qualifier was needed, I'm not 100% sure, but it makes things easier for us because we know that this one is fit, ready to go. Dan Walker's been on a big time heater with his horses, 33 starts, 10 times a winner. And here comes Cold Creek Espresso now for Trevor. Trevor more or less calls it off at this point. He knows that he's not going to get anything more than that, but only beaten a couple of lengths. I like that one and hope that she can come up in here tonight with a big effort, and she's going to have to be. Lady Freight's going to be tough. Lavender Sealster's going to be tough, and the one horse, I Bet You a Kiss, I threw her in for second right now. Which way did you go?
I went to Lavender Sealster. I just 2-year-old or not. I mean, this is late in the season now. Later in the season, I don't think age really has that much of an impact, especially with the way that she's been racing. I think she stacks up versus this bunch greatly.
How?
I don't think that's.
How?
I don't think that we're going to get a price.
No. Go back a step. How does age not make a difference? If one's just about to turn 3, the other one's just about ready to turn 4.
I don't think it does for me.
Really?
Late in the season, earlier on in the season, it does, but for me,
no.
I'm not too concerned
Good
about
for
that.
you. Cool.
You know what? There are so many times where I look at races, especially like there's maiden races. When I watch races in the U.S. a lot, so many times do you see maiden races, Randy, and there's older horses who are struggling to get to the winner's circle. And then you see them take on a 2-year-old coming in off some sharp preps. I'm always going to gravitate towards that 2-year-old. Less strikes, especially if the qualifiers are sharp. So I do think it does make a bit of a difference, but sometimes I think it's a little bit overvalued or maybe overrated.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
but this one, I think, look, she's had some quick miles, right? She's got a 51 and change mile under her
yeah.
belt. I think she'll be good to go. But you mentioned Daniel Walker. Hasn't had a training start, I think, since 2013. I think he never had a win in his short amount of starts, and then he's had 10 so far this year. So he's off to a wicked start, and he had a good second last time out with a filly of his who stepped up against some of those exiting the grassroots final. Cold Creek Fuego, I believe.
Fuego,
she was a solid second to All My Wishes, who bounced back after a tough trip in the grassroots final. So Daniel Walker's barn's been heating up in a big way.
Huge
So you got to take notice, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to go this route here with Cold Creek Sparrow. Hopefully, I'm on to something.
Yep.
Let's put it to you that way.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 4 here, and that's going to kick off the pick 6 sequence. Again, a carryover of over $5,300. We've got a field of 9 here, Andy. We've got some classy mares in this field, right? Mm-hmm. The 3 Coco Jojo. You could say it was a tough trip, but given her class and given where she was, I still expected a little bit more from her in that outing. A Sweet Beach here, who's going to make her 3rd start here in Ontario. Well, 2nd start, I should say, here in Ontario over her last few tries. She was a transportation scratch last time out. I think she fits in here really well, right? I mean, she's been facing, some salty mares in the U.S. Outside draw might hinder her quite a bit, but did you ultimately go to the Tony Beaton trainee just based on class?
Yeah. Based on class. I thought it was an okay effort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know she was bet down as the favorite last week, and she ended up finishing 4th. But the reason that I thought it was an okay effort was simply because so much more was just, she was unstoppable, her and McNair that night. And I think that sometimes, horses, especially one like Coco Jojo, 1 for 18 last year, 3 for 21 so far this year, light on the wins, you know what I mean? I think sometimes a horse like her, when she sees a horse like that up ahead of her and they're going the way that they're going and she's pacing very, very fast and she's not making up any ground on her whatsoever, I think they become frustrated. I think that they kind of like lose a little bit of their confidence and they just kind of call it off. So now she's going to, come right back into the same kind of a class. I think James has options this week. Last week he had the rail. Kind of sometimes with the rail you get away where you get away, but with the 3-hole, I think he can place her a little bit better in here tonight. So I think Coco Jojo is going to come up with a better effort in here tonight.
Yeah, I think if she works out an easier trip, she's going to be tough. If the Coco Jojo we know shows up, and to your point, Randy, I mean, she faced so much more last time out. And Angostura Hanover was also in that class, who was racing well at the preferred level. So it was a tougher group last time out. I'm opting to try All Smoke and Mirrors. I thought she raced well last time out, was moving well at the end of it. But I do know that Coco Jojo is going to be tough if she shows up. So she'll be the favorite in this spot. And again, she's definitely the one to beat.
What a great claim All Smoke and Mirrors was.
But we've seen that with Daniel Serafian, claiming horses that for a good number, and they've gone on to do some pretty good things. Again, Mama Sunburn being one of them. I'm drawing a blank on the other one. There was another one as well that was racing well that started to move up the ranks.
Yeah, they claimed him for what, 18, or was that Mama Sunburn they took for 18?
18, but there's one that I'm drawing a blank on. There was another one that they did pretty well with as well. So again, he has a pretty sharp eye.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on here to race number 6, and that's going to kick off the mid pick 5. That's also going to kick off our OSS Super Final action here for the 2-year-old trotting fillies, and all eyes are going to be on Flowing Tribute, understandably so. I mean, Randy, this Paul Reed trainee has done some great things. She's definitely the one to beat, but there's one filly in particular that you've been a fan of for a few starts now, and you loved her last week, and things just didn't work out.
Work out, John. Okay, so now we're into these gold finals. Mm-hmm. Here come the replays, my friend. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got 2 replays to show you in the 6th race. The one that I'm going to put up on top is HB Crystalline. We're also going to show you Flowing Tribute because she's obviously going to go off as the favorite. Which one are we showing first, producer Jason? The 2 or the 4?
Crystalline.
HB Crystalline. Okay, so let's go. You can see Louis Waugh right now with this girl. Had the 7-hole, big leaving move out of there in 27-1. The qualifier before this start, Flowing Tribute and this girl met up there, and Flowing Tribute was able to beat her, but only by a neck. Look at Louie here, and look at the girl, look at the trotter too. Her ears are straight up. She's like, how come we're not racing? Mm-hmm. She just wants at it. At no point did she get raced in this race. At no point does it look like she doesn't have any go. She obviously does. So I'm going to take a big chance here and hope that he's able to land her right on Flowing Tribute's back. maybe come up with the same kind of trip. John, let's roll this one. I'm guessing this is where you went?
Yeah, Flowing Tribute. I mean, it's tough to go against her, but I tell you what, you have, I think, the one that's going to be the sharpest also coming in, especially off that trip. That was a really, really tough trip. I mean, I backed Cher Hill in that spot. I can't sit here and say that I had the livest horse. The one that you had on top was the livest horse. It's just the trip scenario never worked out, and there was things that happened in the race that we didn't even forecast. And I don't think some of the guys sitting in the bike could really assess, how to maneuver with what went on there in real time as well. It's tough, right? I mean, judgment decisions, it's tough.
And now this girl, good as can be, big, powerful, and she's every bit as good now as when she started the season off. Now, this is the part that I kind of like about her, though, is the fact that if she is going to do this little drift away from the rail, kind of hoping that, once again, HP Crystalline will maybe be on her back and have a clear path up the inside. So 4-2 is the way I'm going. You are going to go.
I'm going to go 2-4. I'm gonna split with you in your first and second selection. I tell you what, though, that's the filly you want to follow. If Bob elects to cut it, I think if you're Louis, you want to get out of there with HP Crystalline. Don't make a trip even more difficult than it needs to be, because you have to bring your best to beat Flowing Tribute.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to make it as difficult as it needs to be in this spot. But again, you're racing for $300,000. Everybody's got the same idea. It just sucks that Bingo Night draws the outside, right? That was a really, really tough trip. You could see Tyler wanted to make front there. Greek Manalishi was on the lead, and it was just tough for Nat to release, Tyler at that point. They were rolling. She had a filly that looked a little bit grabby. You could see him parade, right? Joanne had to go alongside Greek Manalishi there, and it ended up being an adventure for Bingo Night, who also raced super. Again, never seeing a set of pylons for as long as she did, but tough for her. She's been a sharp filly. She's been top 2 here in this division, and it's going to be tough tonight, though.
It's going to be tough, but the way I look at it, it's just going to make Tyler feel that much better after he wins this race, because anybody can win a super final from the 2 or the 3 or the 5 hole. It takes a special guy to win one from the 10 hole. Best of luck, Tyler.
All right, there's our thoughts in race number 6. Again, that kicks off the mid pick 5. There are 3 tonight because we have 13 races. We're going to move on to the next super final here. We're going to go to 2-year-old pacing fillies and get a chance to see another head-to-head matchup between a Clean Deal and Dea. We got to see that on September 29th at the most recent Gold Randy. Advantage went to a Clean Deal, and what was a slick steer by driver Doug McNair. I really thought ultimately that was the difference in that event.
I agree.
Yeah.
The remove to the front, absolutely. I think that if he tries to do it the other way, I think Dea gets the best of him. So I'm going to go Clean Deal, and this is the replay that we're going to show you. This is the last start. Like I said, Clean Deal and Dea. Dougie makes a really, really nice move, gets back around to the front. Jody's in a really good spot here in the 2-hole. Let's roll it and see how this shakes out. But the horse, I'm going to say that the horse that wins this is going to be my top pick in this race. Dea raced fantastically well. Boy, you want to talk about a horse that raced very, very well all season long. She's been really, really good. Another one that I kind of want, I didn't use her in here tonight, but what I'm interested in is the 6 horse, TH Check Me Out. I think she started this off looking really, really good, went through a little bit of a funk, and now she's going to go into this race as a bit of a long shot. But of all of them, look at her.
Yep.
She's really the only one that has a little bit of go on the end of it. But Clean Deal on to Dea is the way that I'm going to go.
I'm going to go Dea onto Clean Deal, but it was really tough. But I found it fascinating when I got a chance to speak with Doug, and he just spoke about how, look, the biggest challenge is just trying to keep this filly fit in between the golds, right? Because she's made so much money, it's tough to find races for her. She hasn't been staked to any Grand Circuit events, so Kyle Fellows and company, they've had to qualify her in between all these golds. But I tell you what, she's raced well. She had that one loss this year, and that lone loss came, on a night where she didn't look like herself whatsoever.
Struggled.
Yeah, just never looked like herself whatsoever. But she looked sharp, and I might regret putting Dea on top in the end, given that at least a Clean Deal now had a start under her belt off those qualifying tries. You have to figure she's going to be sharper. It's tough for me to separate these two fillies, though, Randy. I mean, they've both raced really, really well.
Yeah, it's going to be, in a big way, it's going to come down to a driver's race,
Yep.
I mean, Dougie's going to have the rail again. Last time only got away third. Jody can take advantage of that. Who's to say that Jody, doesn't keep the foot on the gas this time and tell Dougie, listen, you're sitting this week.
And I think that's why I leaned Dea, because of the post position draws. I think if Dea drew inside of her, like maybe middle of the gate, I think it would have been tough for me to go against Kyle Fellows' trainee here in this spot. But ultimately, I figured what you just said. I figured maybe he's going to take advantage of his post position, just keep on rolling, and if a Clean Deal and Dougie want to get to her, they're going to have to earn it late in the stretch.
Would you know if Dea was eligible to the Breeders' Crown?
You know what? I didn't double check, but
because that's a big thing, right? I mean, if this is going to be her last start, then you could see maybe Jody looking at it a different way. If she's going to have the Breeders' Crown coming up in a couple of weeks, maybe he's not going to want to be quite as aggressive.
And this is going to be a Clean Deal's last start, right? She's only staked to provincial stuff here, but I'm sure that she's going to have a busy stake schedule next year. How could she not, right?
No.
She's had a great rookie campaign, and we mentioned the Cattle Wash progeny. This one's one of them who has really caught a lot of attention here.
Out of a Western Ideal mare,
you
my
love that cross, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 8 here, and we're going to get a chance to see some rookie trotting colts here, and we've got a field of 10, and Green Gazoo's going to be scratched, which means that First Class Mass is going to be the also eligible here. He's going to draw in from post number 11. J.R. Plant getting another big opportunity for Dave Maneri in an OSS event, and I tell you what, Dave Maneri's called his number when some of his top guys have been out of town, and I think he's done really, really well, getting a chance to drive Brew Hanover, some other notable horses, the pacing mare of his in the spotlight,
right,
winning the grassroots final with Time Passer, who we'll see tomorrow night. So look, First Class Mass, a tough draw to work with that he's going to inherit here in this spot, one that I think has raced really well, but again, I just think it's a great opportunity for J.R. Plant to keep getting, in races like this.
Now, could Jody have stayed with the draw-in?
I'm not sure, actually.
I think he can.
Okay.
But, I think that Jody powered up on a pretty good horse here. I really do. I think that this Mike Me Up is going to go an incredible mile tonight. Boy, the last 2 or 3 starts, this horse has been spot on good. And unfortunately, last week he draws the 10 hole. He gets parked every step of the mile. It doesn't work out, but boy, was he ever showing wicked form coming into that. Now, Jody gets a chance to drive him, and he could have went with the one. I'm pretty sure he could have went with the one that was drawing in. Coming, and he's been driving him, but he's going to go with this one, and I think he realizes too that this is a live drive. I got this horse in for second. This Mike Me Up 20-1 morning line, and I got him in for second. But I'm going to go Trouble with Names in here, John. Now we're going to show you the replay. And the focus is going to be on Trouble with Names, but obviously he's not going to get the job done. And my understanding is there might have been a little bit of sickness when this horse come out of his last start. And at this point, I thought when Bobby brought him off the rail, Randy was a winner. I love this horse. But right there, I knew, like, as soon as he come to the head of the lane, he was already exhausted. Just not himself. He's not going to race good. He's not going to race horrible. But he's just not going to be himself. And like I said, I was able to talk to Paul Reed. He said after this race, he did scope 30. So he's should be a lot better to go this week. And I'm going to go right back to him. You're not going to get much from this replay other than the fact that he did get a mile into him. He did look live at the head of the lane, but like a sick horse will do, just had nothing to offer in the stretch.
And to your point, again, a horse who was racing really well prior to that effort, and Bobby's not leaving out with him that aggressively and securing that trip if he doesn't think he's got a pretty live racehorse. I mean, he spoke highly about Trouble with Names. The horse didn't put forth an effort that any of us were expecting, but who's to say can't bounce back? Again, you provided the comments there from Paul Reed saying that he scoped sick out of that contest, so he's a major bounce back candidate here. He really is, but this is a really, really good group, right? I mean, Touched by an Angel, he's really starting to figure things out, isn't he, Randy?
Yes.
A couple of wins in his last 3 outings. This is a horse with some confidence, and Dougie's starting to really understand what he needs to do to sit behind this guy. Now he's learned to sit behind him and drive him to a tee now, and it's resulted in some pretty good showings as well.
It is, yeah. Is that where you're going?
I went to a Strobe Light.
Okay.
You can argue he probably should have got the job done last time out. I mean, maybe he shouldn't have gotten picked off by Touched by an Angel, but I thought he raced well. That was the first time he added the trotting hopples. He made that miscue around that first turn in the Mohawk Million. But this is a son of Alarm Detect who's put forth a nice rookie campaign, and I think he can get it done here when the dough is on the line. The big dough is on the line. But again, there's a lot of horses merit respect here.
Who did you have to leave off? Because I had to leave Another Great Mass off, and trust me, that killed me.
Who did I leave? I think I did leave off Another Great Mass.
That hurt me.
That hurt me too.
Yeah. I mean, because this is another. He doesn't show much gate speed. I mean, it is there, but he doesn't show a lot of it. But boy, when he's on his game, he's a pretty tough one.
And again,
to race too.
One that added trotting hopples a couple of starts ago because of some miscues. He's one that maybe we're not going to be talking about in a big way. I think some other ones might be stealing the spotlight. He's one that I think
He's dangerous.
He's dangerous, big
Yeah.
time, especially if they mix it up tonight.
Middle
which
of the
we
gate.
which we've seen, right?
Yeah.
We've seen some action here in some of these
Yeah.
races for these trotters. So a competitive affair in race number 8. We're going to move on to race number 9, and we talked about Star OSS rookies, Randy. I mean, this guy fits that bill, right? Bo Jangles, who's going to look to go a perfect 10 for 10 here if he captures the super final. And obviously, he's got Breeders' Crown hopes next week if he comes out of the race okay. And hopefully a couple of more starts to end off his campaign. But, I mean, how impressive has this son of Cattle Wash been, Randy? I mean, he's just been sensational.
He's got I went with the 3 horses on the outside. Windor, Redland, Rocket Man, and Till the Cows Come Home are all part of my ticket.
Yep.
And at no point do I think that any one of these really, really super nice 3-year-old pacing or 2-year-old pacing colts can go with this guy. He's just in a different postal code right now. And you know, as far as this year finishes off, yeah, I hope that he finishes it off. But the way that he's raced this year, I'm keeping the fingers crossed because I think that he could come back next year and do some pretty impressive things as well. So Bo Jangles, you know, he's going to be our pick in here. And let's take a look at the replay. The last replay for Mr. Bo Jangles. Wins the Metro 10 days later, back into the gold. And Bobby, you know, assuming his rightful place up on top with this guy, you know. And at any time, you know, these are such nice horses in here. Like I said, you know, Till the Cows Come Home is right up on his back in this situation with Jody. And, you know, Jody moves. Jody thinks, hey, I can take this guy on, but no, nobody's taking on Bo Jangles. And what I like about him, too, is the horse is basically looking for Bobby. You know, what do you want me to do now? I still got lots of energy left. What is it that you want me to do now? And he's just in a different league right now. And, you know, I'm not going to be the one that tries to upset the apple cart.
No, we already tried once to no avail, right?
Yeah.
We tried with Borderline Mobby, who raced really well in, what was it, start 1 or 2? And, you know, we had every reason to try and back him because he's a talented son of Cattle Wash himself. But there's just no match for Doc Moore's trainee here. I mean, he's just been exceptional. And it's amazing, though, because, you know, hearing Jonathan Roberts talk about how he was a part of the third set in the breaking process, and he's elevated himself up. He's not in set number 1. He might be in a league of his own. That's how good he's been, right?
Those are the ones that you want, though. You know what I mean?
Really,
A lot of times the sleepers, lots of good ones show you what they got when they're training down. But so many times the ones that are sleepers, those are the ones that really, really rise to the top.
Yep, and a great opportunity, again, for Bobby. Obviously was able to pick up the drive. Didn't qualify him. Was able to pick up the drive. And, I mean, these two have been synonymous, and they've been a perfect match. Like I said, he's got a great lineup here. A couple guys have some really, really strong lineups here over Super Final weekend, and Bob McClure's certainly one of them. You have him on top in a couple of them here tonight, too.
Yeah, if he stays undefeated, are we looking at Canadian Horse of the Year?
You have to think.
I would think
right?
so, too.
I mean, he's certainly trending that way here this year. And we're going to move on to race number 13. That's going to close out this Friday night program. They're keeping us busy, Randy. They want us here late. They better start inputting some beds here or something. We got 13 tomorrow night, too, and got a field of 10 here. We've got some pop-up series. Oh, non-winners of 2,500. My mistake. The pop-up series actually was the race prior. Field of 10 here. Morning line favorite. It's going to be Timo Riggs. He's coming off a third-place effort at Flamborough Downs, and I went his direction here tonight. Middle of the gate draw, one that I decided to back. I think this is a really good spot for him tonight.
You've been liking him for a while,
yeah.
this guy. Yeah. So I threw him in for a piece of it as well. I can see where you're going with him. The big thing that with Timo Riggs is he's a dangerous horse, right? If he gets down in amongst them and gets clear room, he can absolutely open it right up. So always a dangerous horse. I'm going to go Mr. Magic.
Okay.
You know, I haven't been using him lately. I mean, he's still in this optional 20, but I like the draw better for him in here tonight. I think there's a better chance that if JD leaves out of there with this guy, he's going to be the last one to clear. And I like Mr. Magic the best when he's the one in front.
Yep, and I like where I draw too. I'm hoping I see a little bit of early gate speed from this guy. He's not the quickest off the car, but obviously your chances are going to be a lot better if Travis is somehow able to get him off the car in a better spot. Again, a horse who closes well. It looked like he was going to grab a big piece on September 19th before jumping it off. He wasn't going to win, most likely, but was going to grab a big piece and looked like he was ready for a nice charge, and then off he went. So I'm ready to bounce back with him in this spot in what I think is a really good classroom to be competitive. There's our thoughts on race number 13. We spoke about the multiple pick 5 sequences. We've got a pick 6 sequence. We're going to look at the pick 5 sequence, the early one. So we're going to look at both of our tickets. Randy, we're going to start off with you first. You've got a pair of singles, and let's go through your early pick 5 ticket.
Okay, race number 1, I'm going to go 3 deep, and that's simply because I'm, kind of going price shopping with this 2-horse Cold Creek Aspero, and then in race number 2, Margot's got the cargo.
Wild card.
I don't know what I'm going to get with her, but what I do know is that if she behaves herself, she's the best horse in the race.
I think by far.
Yeah. So hopefully Margot, isn't carrying too much cargo tonight. Race number 3, Crunch Hanover and Wallace Hartley. Race number 4, 2 deep again, Coco Jojo, and Only the Good Die Young.
Okay.
And then in race number 5, single back to Madrid.
All in on Madrid.
All
Nice.
in on
She's got
Madrid.
the talent. That's a good spot for her.
another
She
one.
hasn't been sharp lately, but that's a good spot for her without a doubt. So
Yeah.
my
Well, the last time that I had to go through this, sweat through this, I was wrong on Zeron. So
Yeah.
this way, I'm using them.
All right, so my pick 5 ticket idea. I'm going to go single to kick things off, right? I'm going to single Lavender Sealster, single Margot's got the cargo, and then I'm going to go deep. I feel pretty good if I get through the first 2 legs. But again, I went 4 deep in race number 4. I like the way that All Smoke and Mirrors raced last time. My top selection, but I think some other ones in there have a chance. In race number 5, I'll go 3 deep. Superior Delight, I thought raced really well. Chickabel locked in. Last time out, she appeared to have some pace. And Give Me a Corona. That was a tough first over journey. She's been really sharp. I know she doesn't have any wins to her name in those last few outings, but this is a mare who's had a really solid 2025 campaign. But I'm with you, Randy. The wild card is Margot's got the cargo. She acted up the last time we saw her here, or
Last
2
2
starts
times.
ago.
No, both of them. She did the goofiness with Bobby, and then she did the break with
Yeah, the
James.
break. Yeah, but it was off the car where she was acting goofy with Bobby. I think she looked a little bit calmer off the car with James. Did she
She
not?
did,
She
she
did.
did,
But then
yeah.
again, put in the steps when
Yeah.
she was going to go by and win by how many lengths, right?
But James kind of made it out to me though too there, like when he did move her around the last turn, and she went at a quarter and like 26 flat or something like that. Third quarter and 26 and 3. He said that wasn't him, that was her. And then she just went as hard as she could until she got to the head of the lane, and then just jumped it
Just gonna
off.
have to hold our breath the entire mile tonight. So, in race number 2, we have the pick
I'm an
6.
ex-smoker, man. I can't hold my breath very
Well,
long.
We're going to have to do it for as long as you can. But she's got the ability, that's for sure. Pick 6 sequence starts in race number 4. Again, a carryover of over $5,300. Let's go through your ticket.
Yeah, really nice for you to, get that carryover going last night for us. So I'm going to single Coco Jojo. I'm going to go, I usually try to go a little bit, little tougher on the pick 6s. Madrid, again, with the single. Then I'm going to go 3 deep in race number 6 using HP Crystalline as my top pick. Race number 7, a clean deal. And I'm also going to throw in my 3rd pick, Naughty Delight.
Okay.
I didn't use Dea in as a win candidate. Race 8, I'm going to go 4 deep. Mic Me Up, Touched by an Angel, Trouble with Names, and Strobe Light. And then in race 9, single in Bojangles.
All right there. You're taking a stand in those 3 of the legs, as am I. But I didn't want to spend too much on this sequence, same as you, because it could be really short potentially, right? Because I think everybody's going to try and make this a pick 4 or pick 5. Bojangles is going to be, looks to me like a universal single. So I went 4 deep and 3 deep to the first 2 legs. And then I have singles the rest of the way. Flowing Tribute. I could have used Dea in a clean deal. In the pick 6 sequence, I opted to just say, I'll just use Dea. And
I
hope for
like the way
best.
that you did that.
For me, why use both and make this ticket cost $24? Just trying to make it cost as little as possible and hope to get those short prices down. And yeah, just a $12 cost. But it'll pay more than it should because of that added $5,300 in the pool. So there's our thoughts on some multi-leg sequences. You're having fun putting together these tickets, aren't you?
Yeah, I enjoy them. I
Nice little puzzle.
I like finding different ways to go about
Yep.
it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you make the right call, and then other times, like a good friend of mine, Michael, I could throw the TV through the remote.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to think outside the box, though. I mean,
Yes.
that's the biggest thing, right? You don't want to think like everybody else.
No.
Try and find a horse that could result in a separator and get a little bit creative. Plays of the night, though, I don't know how creative you got, Randy, but we're going to get a chance to see here. Go, take us through your plays.
Okay, so my worth a look is going to come along in race number 1. That's going to be Cold Creek Aspero. Right now, this one at 12-1. And my all-in's going to be race number 5. That's going to be Madrid for Zeron. Waples Watch, race number 6. HP Crystalline locked in last week. And my beat the favorite is going to be Trouble with Names.
I like it. You took shots, especially on
Yeah.
the card where it's tough to find some, but you're going to hope that you can get those across. I really like
If I can even get one of them across, it'd be a great night.
Absolutely. My plays board's going to be all in on Lavender Sealster. I knew she'd be a short price, but just one that I said, you know what, I'll go all in on her. My repeat, Sauble Amber. I like the perfect trip, but I still think that's a sharp mare, Randy, and my best bet's going to come with Ripasso. Another tough trip, some stalled cover last time out, but one that I think has been racing sharp. And my spot play, Timo Riggs. I think he's in a great spot tonight in the finale.
Yeah, I like the Rapasso one. I put him in for second.
Yep.
Didn't have quite the nerve to put him up on top. I'm going to go roll him.
He's the class.
I like the fact that you
Yep.
you went back with this Rapasso.
And we're going to see Santa Fe's appetite here. High expectations for Ghislain. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be a scratch tonight. Touched by an Angels, Garnet Barnsdale's spot play here in this spot again. He's razor sharp coming into the super final. And Kevin Plouch in agreement with me. His spot play is going to be Sauble Amber. So we get some opinions there from our resident handicappers, Randy. And they're going to come on the track here as we kick off a 13-pack momentarily. But again, it's going to be a busy night for us.
Who do you think is showing more nerves right now? You and I doing the handicap and the bettors, up in the grandstand, or the breeders? This has got to be the biggest night for the breeders.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, big time. I'm sure a lot of the ones that feel like we back them, they figure they want our top selections to get the job done. But this is a big moment for so many people involved, without a doubt.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I just always thought the breeders, boy, they just got to be sitting at home right now, just wanting to see a few of these of their progeny, jump up with huge efforts. Sale coming up. A lot of money can be made in this next few weeks.
All right, and we'll be here with you all night long. And again, the OSS Golds, they kick off in race number 6, but some great wagering opportunities coming up momentarily as well.